What's up guys, this is Tampa Tech. If you have a snowy picture like this on your TV screen and hit channel up and you got another distorted picture and hit channel up again and it says either weak or no signal, I'm going to show you how to fix that. It's really easy to do and this is a common fix. So right here I opened up my TV just to show you. So here's the power supply plug and there's the cable going into the power supply, the power board. Now sometimes when you get a snowy picture, it could be the capacitors that are blown in the power board. Now usually the capacitors are around 1,000 microfarads, 2,200 microfarads, 3,300 microfarads. They're pretty common to go bad and they'll be bubbled on top or swollen and you'll feel the bubble on top of the capacitors. All these capacitors right here are flat. And usually the capacitors will be together. Now these capacitors are good. I know this is not the issue. Now over here on the main logic board, we have all our video connections. We have our HDMI connections and the standard video connections as well, and the RF connector right here. Now sometimes this RF connector can be cracked and you'll see a ring or a crack around the solder joint right here. And the only thing you have to do is basically solder the connection back. And you want to clean the surface, you use a razor to clean the surface or flux. And here is flux. And then I'm using solder, and you want to heat up the surface and then just apply the solder right here. Don't apply the solder to the soldering iron, you want to apply it to the joint. You can do it on the other side as well. Also, you can look on the bottom of the board. Now sometimes these ground points right here, these solder joints, they're grounds, and sometimes you'll see a hairline ring around them. That means that is a cold solder joint, that's a bad connection, and that would cause a snowy picture. So what you do is you want to heat up the solder joint where it actually liquefies. And I'm using an isotip soldering iron. It's equivalent to maybe a 40-watt soldering iron. You should really use a 50-watt soldering iron for ground solder joints. Once you liquefy that solder joint, you want to apply the solder to it. Just like that. Don't apply the solder to the soldering iron. You want to apply it to the solder joint. Just like that. Alright, so I built my son's bed right here, and this is a bunk bed, and I didn't notice, but it's right next to a coax cable coming from the outside to the inside into his bedroom that's connected to his TV. Now, because the bed is pressed up against this connector, it broke off. Now you have to actually locate where the connection is bad in your house, basically. So it could be behind the TV, it could be behind the TV stand, or near a splitter, somewhere in the attic maybe. It could be on a outlet, like a wall outlet like this one. But once you find the connection, then I'm going to show you how to fix it. So another way to find out where it is it's coming from is you can wiggle the cable, and if the cable, when you wiggle it, it makes the picture go bad, good, then you just keep on wiggling the cable and like track it down to the source where you have the bad connector or bad connection. If you're cutting your grass, sometimes you could, accidentally slice into the cable, or you weed whacking, that can happen too. Go ahead, first thing you want to do is you want to remove the connection, the bad connection from the wall outlet, and you want to cut off the end right here. Let's cut off this end. Alright, so once you cut the cable using wire cutters, next tool you want to use RG6 splicer. I'll leave a link in the video description below where to get all these items. So what you want to do is you want to put it flush right here at the end where it says RG6, and you feel it, and right there it's flush in the connector, and you want to make sure it's flush right here, and you're going to rotate it a couple times clockwise and then pull, and there's your perfect splice right there. So one side is going to have your threads showing, and the other is just going to be the dielectric, the white part showing. just like that, and the center is the copper. So the HD frequency travels on the outside of the dielectric, which is the white part, and the voltage is on the copper part, and the negative right here is the ground braid, and which is part of the shielding of the cable too as well. The shielding of the cable is that tin foil. Then you want to take your compression fitting connector. This is the RG6 connector. Now you want to make sure all the ground braid is away from the copper. You don't want the ground braid or any of these threads touching the center copper. Next, you want to push on the connector. You can twist it on, that's fine. But when you twist it on, you want to make sure the white part right here, the dielectric white part that you see, is flush with the inner connector, the inside the connector casing. So that copper wire right here should be flush with the outside of this connector. So let's back it out a little bit, just a hair. Alright, and now you can see that the dielectric is flush with the inside of that connector, and the copper wire is flush with the outside of the connector. And then next, you want to go ahead and put it in your compression tool. So this compression tool will actually close it and lock it in. So let's go ahead and do that. And that's real easy to do. The copper prong, that wire, goes right in this hole right here. And let's go ahead and set it into the slot. And put the prong in first, and then set that wire right in that track right there. And then just squeeze. That's all you gotta do, just squeeze it really hard. And then spread it open, and then pull it out, and this blue will be pushed in, and it's compressed inside this metal casing right here, and you can't remove that. It's very difficult to remove that, and it's a very strong connection. So let's go ahead and see if it works. Okay, you're doing a great job. Go ahead and turn on the TV. See if the TV turns on.
Okay.
Is it working?
Yep.
Let's see. And we got a crystal clear picture. Look at that. And it's working. That's how you fix it. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like this video if it helped you out, and subscribe and share this video to anyone this video may help.
Hit the subscribe button if you like this channel. Bye.